Alright, this is just a quick little update video on the Oppenheimer sword for Feral Rex. So we've seen the big, giant, massive sword. In my previous video, it's all put together, all the weapons from all the various feral cons, put together to form this giant sword. But if you take all the pieces and separate them out, then you get a whole bunch of, you get all the individual weapons, which you can see right here. Where's the other piece? Put it over here. You can then assemble like this, and the key factor here is that while messing around, I discovered that this tail part, which forms the tail for Leo Dukes, how you say it, and the main sword handle for the giant sword, does actually split apart right here in the middle, just like that. And now with this split in half, you can actually store these pieces. There's a longer tab and a shorter tab here, which match up to a couple of slots on the gun, so that you can actually plug these into his guns on his back in robot mode and store these sword halves on Leo Dukes in bot mode. Now you can, right now, you can also, if you want to store these can plug in. It's a little tricky to plug them in without popping these off, but you can store those down here, which is a little awkward. These are supposed to apparently store on, in robot mode, plug in and store on Dive Bomb's wings. And there's a tweak on the mold that has to be. The mold didn't come out right. These are test shots. There's still a couple things they didn't finish on this, so this doesn't quite plug in right now. But these should plug in to Dive Bomb's wings in robot mode. So all of these pieces do indeed store in the combined mode, or in the individual robot modes. However, once you split everything apart, you can take that. You can attach just one half of each thing to each part of the tail segment, like this. You can take, let's see, Talon and Bovis and Talon's knives, and attach them. Or this is actually Tigress's knife, I think. Attach them together just like you were in the, just like you were making the Oppenheimer sword. Do that twice. Where's the other one? There we go. So nope. There we go. So attach these together. Yeah, there we go. And then you take this. You take the long swords, detach them, and turn them back into like little individual axes that for Leo. Snap them together like that. You take that, attach it right here to the sword, almost like you were building the Oppenheimer sword. And then you take this and rotate that around. You want it to go this way. So this piece attaches just like it did for the main sword, and it plugs in just like that. And then on this side, over here, you take, this is Talon's sword and Fortis's sword, and there's a hole in Fortis's sword here on the bottom. So you take that and slide these together like this. And you don't want them to push them all the way together. It's kind of hard to do. If you do that, you just kind of get a thumbnail in there and split them just a little bit, just so there's a little bit of a gap there. And then Talon's sword plugs in the slot that plugs into this end up here. You take Talon's sword, plug it right in there like that, and there's a couple of ports here on the side of this, so you slide this in, and then these down here, and then right here on these ports, these plug in like this, snap in just like that, and then you can get two single-bladed swords that Leo Dukes can hold in both his hands. You can do the same thing on the other side. Put that together. Just like that. Plug this into here. Again, you want to kind of pry it, push it together, and then pry it just so there's just a little bit of a gap there. Just about like that. And then take the sword, plug it right in there, push it up until these tabs line up with these notches, and then snap it all into place. Come on. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to snap right now, but I may not have everything lined up. Oh yeah, I don't have everything lined up quite properly. There needs to be a little bit more of a gap between these two. There we go. There we go. Now everything plugs together. So yeah, and then you got two swords, like two matching swords that he can hold. And then you can do, what's even cooler than that is, even though you have the two swords, you still got both the same tab, so you can hold them in his combined form. You can also take them, you can actually reattach these two together and have kind of a Darth Maul-esque double saber. And you can flip these around. Like I said, all you have to do is just pop this out and flip it around like that. If you want to have them facing the same way, now you see the blades facing down on both sides. And this thing is really, really huge. Like, I posted a picture on both Twitter and on the TFW thread for this earlier. But this whole sword together is almost as tall as Metroplex. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, just a little addendum to the Feral Rex combiner that you can actually, one, you can store all of the parts for the sword. They don't have to sit off to the side, as well as the fact that you can build the two individual swords. Whenever you want to come, oh, there we go. I was pulling the wrong bits apart. There we go. And just snap that right in there. And just snap that right in there. And there you go. So yeah, dual swords for Feral Rex. Very cool.